Welcome everyone. This is Math and Measurement, video 1A. So here we're going to take a look at two objectives. We're going to solve problems using dimensional analysis, in other words a roadmap, and second objective we're going to construct conversion factors from known quantities. So let's go ahead and get started. So the roadmap. Now we used this technique last year. We call it dimensional analysis though. Roadmap for short. We use it to convert one quantity to another quantity. In other words, we can convert inches to feet, feet to meters, and again, it doesn't need to be distance. It could be time, seconds to milliseconds, or it could be masses as well, right? But before you start using dimensional analysis, you first need to understand the concept of writing a conversion factor and what exactly a conversion factor is, right? So that's going to be a key word there for you guys, conversion factor, right there, right? So conversion factor is something like this. 1 gram is equal to 1,000 milligrams. Or you can also say it backwards, is 1,000 milligrams is equal to 1 gram. And we're not going to use it in this sense here. We're not going to ever write it like this. We understand it to be this. The way that we're going to use it is like this, right? We're going to use it in math terms. So 1 gram compared to 1,000 milligrams. Or we can also use it like this. 1,000 milligrams can be compared to 1 gram. Right? So either way it's fine. Again, we are not using it like this. This is how it's written. We're not going to use it like this. This is how it's going to be used, right? In terms of comparison. So we're comparing 1 gram to milligrams or milligrams to grams. So let's build a roadmap, right? So there's a few steps. Write the given, write your unknown, write some conversion factors that can take you from the given to the unknown. And how do you come up with these conversion factors? You know them. You have memorized them, okay? So make sure that you know your conversion factors. We'll go over a few of them. Write out your pathway, draw your roadmap, fill out the given unit and your unknown units, fill in the rest of the units, and then insert your numbers. Again, deal with the units first, please. Deal with the units first. It's going to be so much easier if you concentrate on the units instead of the numbers, okay? So let's see, we're going to multiply and use proper significant figures, right? So hopefully you know your rules for significant figures. So here's our first example. How many seconds are in 1 year? Okay, so follow my train of thought, okay? So my first my first step that I'm going to do is I'm going to write my given, which is 1 year. I'm going to write my unknown. So I'm looking for seconds. Wow, this is the easy example, huh? Alright, well, let's keep going. So we're given a year, we're looking for seconds. Step 2, we're going to write some conversion factors. Again, I don't know exactly how I'm going to do this yet, but I'm just going to write down a bunch of stuff that that kind of gears me or pushes me towards converting years to seconds. So let's write some conversion factors, right? So we know that there are 30 days in a month, right? 24 hours in a day, right? We know that there are 60 minutes in an hour, right? We know that there's 60 seconds in a minute. We know that in 1 year there are 365 days. So again, this is just random right now, right? No real order to it, but we can put it in order, right? So from this, we're going to select a pathway, right? So from what's given, we're going to select a pathway that's going to take us from years to seconds. So we know that year is the larger unit, second is the smallest unit, so we're going to go from large to small, right? And that's exactly what you see here. So we have years, days, hours, minutes, and seconds. Now, if for whatever reason you know how many minutes are in a year, for whatever weird reason, right, that you might know that information, you can actually skip these two steps here, right? But how many people actually know how many minutes are in a year? Not very many. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this pathway here, right? Because I do know how many days are in a year. I know how many hours are in a day. I know how many minutes are in an hour. And finally, I know how many seconds are in a minute. So do you see my train of thought there? Okay, this is the nice part. So here's a nice part with the roadmap. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pathways here. So that means my roadmap, you guessed it, is gonna have, is gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 sections, right? 5 sections, 5 pathways. So let's take a look at what we're gonna put. So we're gonna put all my stops at the top. So I start with years, and I'm gonna end with seconds, right? That's what I'm given. That's what I'm looking for. So I'm gonna start with years, end with seconds. From years, right? So let's fill everything in between. So let's fill the units in. From years, I'm going to days. From days, I'm going to hours. And from hours, I'm going to minutes. From minutes to seconds. So now we have to cross cancel all of our units to make sure everything cancels so that we're just left with seconds. So how are we going to do that? Years are going to cross cancel, or year, days, hours with hours, and minutes with minutes. So again, we are doing this to cross cancel, right? To cross cancel, we're going to cross cancel, and I'll be left with just seconds because those can't cancel with anything. Okay, so once we have everything filled in, now we're going to fill in our numbers that we got from our unit conversion from step 2. So we're given that it's 1 year, right? We're given that it's 1 year, so that's what I'm going to put there. For every 1 year, 365 days. For every day, there's 24 hours. For every 1 hour, there's 60 minutes. And for every 1 minute, there is 60 seconds. Remember, the number 1 always pertains to the larger unit, right? The number 1 always goes with your larger unit. So year is larger than day, so year gets number 1. Day is larger than hour, it gets a 1. Hour is larger than minute, it gets a 1. Minute is larger than a second, it gets a 1, right? So there it is. Once you multiply across the top, right, get a number, multiply across the bottom, 1 times 1 times 1 times 1, you get 1. A number divided by that 1 gives us approximately 31,536,000 seconds. But we have one significant figure that was given to us at the very beginning of this example here, right? So how do we round 31,536 to only have one significant figure? Well, let's take a look at this number here. Look at the number to the left. If it's smaller than 5, we make these all zeros. So we get 30 million seconds approximately. We have one more example. Let's just go through it real quick. This time we're not going to be using the metric system here, so or I'm sorry, the time system. Now we're going to be doing mass, right? So we're going to convert milligrams to kilograms. So let's go ahead and take a look here, right? Whoops. So how many milligrams are in 300 kilograms? Here's my answer. So how did we get this, right? So you're going to have to know your metric prefixes here, right? You're going to have to know your SI units. You're going to have to know how to convert between those SI units. In other words, going to from kilograms to a base unit, which is grams, then to milligrams. So let's just write what we know. So we know that 1 gram is equal to 10 to the negative third kilograms. In other words, 0.001 kilograms. We know that 1 gram is equal to 1,000 milligrams. Right, so how are we gonna solve this? Well, like we said, here is our base unit, right? So you know that SI units, in order to make them larger or smaller, we add a prefix in front of it, right? But our base unit, that's our home plate, right? So if we have a 2 units or a number that we're converting and there's no base unit that's given, always convert to the base unit, then convert to whatever smaller or larger unit you're trying to convert to. Right, so in this case, we're going from kilograms to milligrams. So before I can do that, I'm going to convert kilograms, 300 kilograms into grams, and then milligrams. That's always going to make it easier. Once you get the hang of it and you start doing it often, you'll start getting faster and you'll start seeing shortcuts. But for now, let's go ahead and convert to the base unit. So we have 1, 2, 3 stops. So we're going to need 1, 2, 3 divisions on my dimensional analysis bar. Write your units. I'm going from kilograms to milligrams. So I'm going to stop in the middle at my base unit, which is grams. So cross cancel from there, cross cancel your units. So kilograms cross canceling with kilograms, grams going to cancel out with grams. So these two cancel, we're left with milligrams, right? So let's write what we're given, 300 kilograms. And our larger unit here is kilograms or grams. Think about that. No, just kidding. It's kilograms, right? Oh, whoops. We're going the wrong way then. Oh, I see. Oh, that's what I did. Okay, so I'm using this conversion factor here, right? So either way, you can put 1 gram is equal to 1,000 grams, or 1 kilogram is equal to 1,000 grams, or 1 gram is equal to 0.001 kilograms. It's the same number, right? Either way you feel comfortable, you can do it both ways. Negative third just means it's a reciprocal. So 1,000 is technically on the top. So again, you can see that it's not gonna matter. So 1 gram is equal to 10 to the negative third kilograms, and again 1 gram is equal to 10 to the positive third milligrams. Multiply across the top, divide by the bottom, whoops, and you should get 300 million milligrams.